Great Scott. Great Scott. Great Scott.
Hello everyone, and welcome to a super episode of Great Scott. I'm Scotty V. Thanks for watching. Well, I wanted to talk today a little bit about Superman number 27. For those of you who don't read comics, I don't know if I'd recommend now as the time to start. Some of the stories are good. A lot of the artwork is really good. I like the new uniform, the new 52, even though everybody's still yelling about it being armor. I've already said it's armor because it's a traditional Kryptonian garb and it's modeled after what they used to wear on Krypton. And also, if you look back in a lot of older issues, Superman's costume gets ripped up a lot and torn to shreds, and you can see his nipple in the story where he fights Doomsday. So armor would help to defeat that happening. So if you had some armor on, even if your body is physically impervious to most forms of assault, as clearly he's not completely invulnerable because Doomsday did tear into his skin, make him bleed, and then eventually kill him. So a suit like this can be, have numerous uses, and I also like that it kind of just forms on him when he needs it. It destroys that unrealistic thing where he's wearing a cape tucked in the back of his clothes and no one can tell, and he's got boots on and no one can tell, or he's able to wear shoes over boots, which makes no sense. On Lois and Clark, they showed him take his clothes out of a duffel bag and go get dressed in the bathroom, which also makes more sense. But Superman's always traditionally had this thing where he tears open the shirt and the suit's just there. And it can still be there. When he's about to tear it, the nano machines in the suit know that he needs the suit, and it's there. But what I wanted to talk about in particular was what happened in Superman number 27, and I don't think that it's just a happenstance that happened this particular time. It seems like, and I've heard complaints from the beginning, with action number 1, where he was dangling that bad guy from the roof, or threw him over, or scoffed at the police, or ran off, where I kind of saw that as him as a young guy who was doing right and doing things to guys who didn't deserve to be treated particularly well. Not killing them, not horribly maiming them, but kind of mocking them, dropping them from the roof, making them crap their pants, for lack of a better word. And I think that's okay when you're talking about jerks. But as it's gone on, I think there are things that have stood out to me. There's no relationship with Supergirl. She's a troubled girl who's getting into a lot of troubled situations, and he's nowhere. Now, I know she has her own book, and I know they have to concentrate on the solo starring character, so we can't have a crossover every single month. But Superman should be more a part of her life. And when they do meet up, he doesn't really give her much advice, and she's clearly a character who has grown in a lot of disdain for Superman because he's not there for her, he's not present for her, and he doesn't seem to care. Khan too, he didn't really show any appreciation for the fact that this was a kid trying to grow up in the image of Superman and might need some help. But forgetting those things, in Superman number 27, we have the Parasite coming to drain Lois of her psionic powers that she's developed as a member of the 11, the 52, the 28, whatever the special group is, that these people have developed powers because of the whole Brainiac situation. And he makes it clear in the story that he's pretty sure that if he lets Parasite drain her to almost death, but then steps in, that she'll probably lose all remembrance of who he is, and that is that she right now knows his secret. But it's more important to him to allow Parasite to do that so that she loses that memory than it is to stop Parasite before getting to her and therefore taking a risk that he might cause more damage. What if she forgets who she is? What if she forgets the world? What if she forgets how to operate? What if she is, rendered brain dead, or what if she is killed? Superman considers this, but ends up allowing the Parasite to attack her, and John, her boyfriend, rightfully accuses Superman of not stopping the Parasite, and you can see that he's aggravated and possibly more than aggravated towards Superman in this situation, and he's completely right. If I were Lois and I found out about this later in the future, when they do have a relationship, when they are going to be in romantic involvement, that would be the end of it. This is a breaking point for me. I'm going to continue to read them, but I've already kind of gotten to the point where I get around to them when I have to do Radio KAL, and I spoke about this on our February edition, which just came out about a week ago. I don't like this at all, and I think this is kind of the new 52 version of Superman. They want him to be more, I don't know, amoral, which is just not a word that I would ever put next to Superman. They want him to be more selfish, which is generally not a word I would associate with Superman. They want him to be more irresponsible, which is not a word that I would associate with Superman. In one story, too, I think it was Action with Lana, where they were fighting that underground thing and trying to stop a war from happening. He says, Batman would tell me to take stock, stand back, see what was going to happen. But, you know, for lack of a better word, you know, frack that, I'm going in. And this is a more heroic stance. It's exactly what I would expect Superman to do. He's stopping these beings from being mistreated. But it looks like there's going to be consequences. In this case, right now, there don't seem to be any consequences other than Jonathan thinking that he knows that Superman did something a little off, which is very odd. And if Lois finds out, like, I think there should be consequences, but unfortunately, we know Lois and Clark will eventually get together and have a romance and love each other, even if it doesn't happen in this particular continuity, because we don't get around to it before they relaunch, which I hope, starting to hope they do soon. It's a terrible, terrible thing. And if your fiance or your wife later found out about it, I just don't know if your relationship would ever be the same if she knew that to protect yourself, you risked her life. Thanks, everybody, for watching. And remember, even in these tough times, always look up in the sky.